Welcome to Celebrity Tastemakers. I'm Lisa Mateo. From the hottest restaurants to local dives, celebrities always know where to eat, and here's your chance to join them. Come along for the ride as our guests share their favorite meal, and the chefs that make them teach you the recipe. That's all part of Celebrity Tastemakers, your reservation to food and fame. So are you as good in bed as you are on the dance floor? Those are the first words Fran Drescher said on camera, and they were to John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. Since then, the world has come to know and love Fran through her work, her tragedies, her advocacy, and her commitment to helping people with cancer. We're riding with Fran Drescher, a schmancer who's turned pain into purpose, because this voice of reason comes from a talented and lovable nanny turned tastemaker. Fran Drescher.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. So where are we going today?
The beautiful Hornblower Infinity ship, and we're gonna have an organic lunch.
Okay.
You gotta eat chicken that's organic. You don't wanna have anything else.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's hit it. You mentioned the Hornblower. So
Yeah.
this is a place that's close to your heart. A lot to do with Cancer Schmancer.
Yes, they're wonderful supporters of the Cancer Schmancer and our entire cabaret dinner cruise annually, which is a big success and very helpful in us staying afloat. You know, Cancer Schmancer means cancer is not the boss of me. So we are very motivating, we're educational. We try and teach you how to change your lifestyle. We identify causation. Let's not get cancer in the first place. How's that for a cure?
There you go.
Is one of our mottos. We do a health summit. That's in October at the Music Center in Los Angeles. In June, we always do this Hornblower Cabaret dinner cruise. We have some of the best singers from Broadway and cabaret, Tony winners, Grammy winners. They all get up and sing one great song after another, and it's a whole roster of talent. And during cocktail hour, you're looking at everything from the Statue of Liberty and the New York skyline up to the George Washington Bridge. And it's just really splendiferous and
That's
always beautiful. And my gay ex-husband will be one of the singers as well, Peter Jacobson.
And you guys are the best of friends.
Yes, we are. And we did a series called Happily Divorced based off our relationships. And of course, you know, we did The Nanny together, and we continue to work together.
Turning pain into purpose.
Yes.
You've inspired millions to find hope through tragedy.
Well, you know, bad things happen to good people, but what we do with it, how we grow through it, and what becomes of us as a result is what makes all the difference. And I found through my journey that turning pain into purpose helps heal, helps turn the senseless into sense. I mean, I'm not glad I had cancer, and I don't wish it on anyone, but I am better for it. It has deepened my life in a very purposeful way, and this is my life's mission now.
Part of your message is about early detection. That's so important. The other thing you talk about is how cancer is more than 90% environmental.
Yes, only 5% of cancers are genetically based. And even genes can be turned on and off with environmental influences. So the environment becomes a very key component to our overall health and well-being. And the home is the most toxic place we spend the most time in. So we have a very progressive program called Detox Your Home. And we start very simply with in, on, and around. What are you eating? What are you putting on your skin? All of your personal care items, including your oral hygiene. What are you cleaning and gardening with? And if you just start with that, and every time you go to replace something, try and replace it with something that has ingredients that may have grown in your grandma's garden.
When actors are starting out, their debut role, most of them tend to follow direction But you were a little bit different, Miss Fran Drescher. In Saturday Night Fever, you gave John Travolta a little booty grab. That was unscripted, wasn't it?
No, yes, that was. I always like to improvise a little bit. That's why This Is Spinal Tap was so successful. That we didn't even have a script in that. But not that long ago, I was on a red carpet, I think for the Golden Globes, and Travolta was standing next to me being interviewed. And I walked right into his interview and I said, "Are you as good in bed as you are on the dance floor?" Well, his wife's jaw nearly dropped. She thought I was coming on to her husband.
She didn't
But he
know
knew
you
exactly.
were.
She didn't know. She wasn't there. But he
okay.
knew, and he couldn't be sweeter and kinder and say how proud he was of all of my success, but especially what we do with Cancer Schmancer.
This Is Spinal Tap. You were a Steen sailor in that movie, too.
Oh, thank you.
The hostess with the mostest.
Yeah, well, you know, there was so much comedic talent on that movie. And I loved the opportunity to do improv because it was, I think, a 27-page outline. So you knew what points of information you had to cover, but other than that, you know, you were completely on your own.
Now you go from a scene stealer to leading actress in The Nanny. What comes to mind when you look back at that show?
It's a reminder that you have to carpe diem. Opportunity knocks every single day. That show started because I was on a plane to France and the president of CBS walked in. 9.5 hours later, he said, "Well, when we get back to the States, you know, if you want to pitch some ideas, give me a call and I'll set you up with the head of development." I went to visit my girlfriend Twiggy, the one and only, and was spending some time with her little 12-year-old schoolgirl at the time. And I could not get this relationship out of my head because I was telling her what was good for me, not what was good for her.
Right.
And so at like 5 a.m. Europe time, I called Los Angeles. It was much earlier there. And I said, "Pete, I think I got the idea for the show. We should pitch to Jeff. What do you think about a spin on The Sound of Music? Only instead of Julie Andrews, I come to the door." And he said, "That's it. That's the show. We'll pitch to CBS."
And you go from laughs to not so good times. Everyone talks about a life tragedy happens to someone else, but for you, you were that someone. You once said that your whole life you've been turning negatives into positives after
Lemons
you were
into lemonade.
lemons into lemonade. After you were held at gunpoint, raped, you've gone through so much in your life. How do you find that strength to turn that pain into purpose?
It's not easy. Believe me, it took me like a year after I was raped to feel even close to the person I was before that ill-fated night. I described myself like a mirror that had been cracked in 1,000 pieces. But I wrote about it in my first book, Enter Whining. And there were people that wanted me to sign that chapter, Bad Things Happen to Good People, specifically, because they themselves had either gone through a rape or they were victims of a violent crime or spousal abuse. And so it made me feel like I was glad that I had the courage to write about it and share it because I saw that I was helping people.
Well, thank you for that. That's a great service for people out there. So let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about guilty pleasures. Is it true your guilty pleasure is eating spaghetti and meatballs in bed? Is that still one
I
of them?
didn't eat the meatballs.
Just the spaghetti?
Spaghetti is,
That's it,
I
just
love
little pasta?
Spaghetti, not little. That's my downfall. Oh, if only I could do it little. I mean, I must admit, I do eat less than I used to. But back in the day, when I was married to my gay ex-husband, we used to split a pound between us.
Now, what about men? Do you still go by the 5 S's? Let's see.
Now it's 6.
Now there's 6. Okay, let's go through them.
Sexy,
Yes.
smart,
Okay.
successful, straight,
Yes. Single.
single,
What's the 6th?
sane.
Sane. So you've met some crazies.
Hello, the magnet.
When people hear the name Fran Drescher, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, you know, I always say her laugh made us laugh.
Thank you.
Ladies, watch your step here,
Hello.
please. I am. Welcome. Nice to see you guys.
You too. Hi, Lisa.
Welcome back, Fran. Great to see you. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Excellent. We're so glad to have you back.
Say hello to Lisa.
Lisa Davis Smith, it's very nice to meet you. Welcome on board.
She asked me to be on her show, and it's all about restaurants and talking and stuff, and I thought, let's do it on the Hornblower.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Chef Scott is ready to make your favorite dish with Lisa, so we're ready to go. So right this way.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
We are taking celebrity tastemakers out on the water aboard the Hornblower. It's all to make Fran Drescher's favorite chicken dish, and this is Chef Scott Hauser. He's going to show us how it's done. Now, first off, Chef, what's the exact name of this dish?
Chicken paillard. It's a organic free-range chicken, sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, thyme, a little olive oil.
Okay.
And we marinate it for like 24 hours.
24 hours. So
Yeah.
this is serious chicken.
Yes.
We're aboard a yacht. What kind of things are you working with when you're back here in the kitchen?
Oh, it's challenging. There's a lot of movement. You got to be very careful what you do.
Do you get seasick?
No, I do not get seasick.
Thank
I
goodness.
have good sea legs. Thank God for that. And it's a lot of fun being out here, but it is challenging. It's more dangerous than any other kitchen because the boat is always rocking back and forth, so you have to be really careful in what you do. But it's fun.
Now let me ask you a question. If you forget the oregano on land,
You're in trouble. We're not spending a speedboat to go
go
catch
get it?
up to you. No, it's not going to happen. It's like anything else. You know, it's mise en place, being set up, being ready, following through, and making sure that everything's on the boat before you leave. It's just constant checking and making sure your mise en place is there.
and if you forget something, improvise, right?
Yes, but you know, I really don't like that.
Well, this we are not improvising. We have everything here.
Yes.
You mentioned you marinate it for 24 hours, but what gives it that flavor?
Well, the fresh ingredients. For the marinade, we blend the garlic, parsley, thyme, and sun-dried tomatoes with olive oil, and we let it sit for a day, and it gets the nice flavor profile.
And Fran's been talking about being organic. The chicken is organic. That's very important to her and to you here.
Oh, absolutely. We source a lot of local organic products from a lot of our local purveyors, which is very important to us. We like to do everything natural, environmentally friendly, obviously, and this is part of what you see when it comes to the plate.
How do you prepare it?
After we marinate it, we grill it, and then we finish it in the oven. About 5 to 8 minutes.
And when you're here, you're serving not one person, but you can serve sometimes hundreds of people all at once.
Yes, 4th of July and New Year's Eve, we have about 3,500 people on all 6 of our vessels. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. I really enjoy it. We have the best view in the world, New York City, and we're cooking great food.
Chef, I'll let you get started. I'm gonna head back to the table.
Okay, thank you.
We are out to sea, or should I say on the river. David, tell us about some of the experiences people can have here on the Hornblower.
On Pier 40, which is where we launched out of, it's more of our luxury product where we would have food like this. And then Pier 15 is more of a party type atmosphere that we have over there. We do what we call Rock the Yacht and Alive After 5, and so it's happy hour cruises and things like that. But they're having lots of great experiences. We've had engagements and
I'm sure.
all kinds of birthdays and anniversaries and all kinds of great stuff. So a lot of people pick Hornblower for that, so we're pleased.
This is like what we do for the Ganser Schmancer cabaret dinner cruise. And they just keep getting better and better.
You know, we try to really create amazing experiences every time we launch. The way that we do that is we kind of do the see New York, be New York thing. So you can see New York, which is always changing, and then be New York, you get to come and dine like this, like a regular New Yorker would do, but it's on the water, so we have a little different ad.
What are some of the challenges serving a meal on a yacht?
Boats move,
Yes.
which we've established already here today, but it really adds a unique aspect to their job. It's certainly challenging for them, but we have professionals and they're used to it at this point. We've had people that have been here for 4 or 5 years and at this point have it down and just kind of move with the boat.
Fran, you talk so much in the car about health and your health summits and everything you do with Cancer Schmancer. Is there any talks about a possible election run?
You know, people always ask me if I would run for office because I am very vocal and outspoken. And I think if I ever did, it would have to be out of New York. Sometimes I wonder whether, my activism and the platforms that I speak most passionately about will have more of an impact outside of Congress than if I were inside. But it's a thought. It really is. I'm right now involved in developing some projects, some that for me to be in, some that I'm writing and would just write and produce.
Like what?
I'm writing with PETA.
Okay.
A Broadway musical. And I'm developing a couple of shows for me actually to be in. One is kind of more of a live action show, unscripted, like you do. And then one is a movie which I would hope to be able to direct, and that would be on my bucket list. And one is a sitcom for me. But then there are things where I'm a gun for hire. So viewers can see me in Broad City, which is the big Comedy Central hit that everybody loves, and I was thrilled to be invited to do it. And I just finished recording Hotel Transylvania 3. They're always really funny for the whole family.
Yes, that's what I love about it.
And they always have a really good message, usually about tolerance. And in fact, we go on a cruise. All the monsters go on a cruise.
We talked about the experience on the water, but it's all about the quality of the food, too.
Absolutely. Chef has been tasked as much of organic stuff as he can do, as much farm to table as he can do. And, we're not just talking about other cruise ships, we're talking about restaurants on land. And,
That's right.
And our competition is pretty broad. So, the way that we think we can really focus on that is quality product, excellent service, and exceeding people's expectations. That creates amazing experiences, and that's kind of what we're looking for.
Fran, you've worked with some amazing people. Francis Ford Coppola, Woody Allen. What are some of the road markers along your career?
I had the great privilege of doing 2 films with Robin Williams, as well as Dan Aykroyd. And the thing that impressed me the most about those 2 gentlemen is that even though they were huge stars at the time that I had the opportunity to work with them, they behaved on the set more like the host of a party than the star of a film. And they took the time and trouble to talk to the guy that was pushing a broom all the way up to the producers. That's the way I want to be. I want to make everybody feel comfortable and just relax and have a good time. I don't want them to feel like they have to walk on eggshells when I enter the room or watch their P's and Q's. I just want us to be like one big happy family. So, and yes, I've worked with a lot of amazing directors from Milos Forman and Rob Reiner, but I think that the thing that really impressed me the most was the way those 2 enormous stars behaved while they were working.
Who's your best friend?
Well, I try to be my best friend, and that's taken me all my life to figure that out. So that's the first and foremost. And then definitely my parents, my gay ex-husband, PETA, and
I love how she's in PETA.
And I have wonderful friends, and my sister, and my dogs.
This has been an amazing experience.
Thank you for stopping by.
Here's to good health.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your support of Kansas Schmanza.
Thank you for joining us on Celebrity Tastemakers, where you always have a reservation for food and fame. For complete recipes and additional clips not seen on this show, log on to celebritytastemakers.com. Until we eat again, I'm Lisa Mateo. Is it true you didn't wear underwear to 2001 Odyssey?
Yeah, no, because with that kind of a dress, it would have been, and back then they didn't have like one-piece undergarments like Spanx and things like that. So it was either have a panty line or wear nothing. And, I was 17 years old, so I opted for nothing.
Did you also come up with the name Connie?
No, but I did say my name in it And that wasn't scripted. I said, so when's Connie gonna get her answer? So that when they saw the credits, because he doesn't call me by my name, so how are they gonna know that I was Connie unless I call myself Connie?
We did it, baby!